Gotta get more followers.
Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. It's May the 2nd, 8:33. Non-farm payroll just happened, so I figured, hey, today as good a day as any to trade some treasuries. Had a nice spike down. Not trading the non-farm payroll. I just like to see what happens, and then we get a little bit of activity for the next little while. So it is actually a great time to trade thereafter. You see it's still bopping around here a few minutes later. I am going to be trading Take Profit Trader account. Of course, first things, my website, cft.ca, your home for all the latest, greatest deals, promos, trader evaluations, reviews, free course, etc., etc. Guys, I only cover the best of the best, for real. There's like so many firms out there now. I don't even know what the count is. I would say 30-ish. There was 20-something like a while ago, and I know there's been several since. So 30-ish firms. We've seen several fall. I predicted that back last summer. So I suspect there'll be plenty more that go down. But nonetheless, I only work with the best of the best of the best. And Take Profit Trader is not only one of the best of the best, they're in my top 3. As well, one of the few firms that still allows treasury trading, which is very important to me. So we will be trading a Take Profit Trader account. Let me show you my stats. I've already worked on this evaluation. So this is going to be a 150K account. I've traded for 2 days. I'll scroll down here in a second and show you, but you can see I've traded the 2 days. We're currently a little over halfway to the goal. I mean, quick to do about take profit. Consistency, no day can be greater than 50%. So say 4,500 if we want to hit that, dead on the money. Now, one of my days went over 4,500. It's not a big deal. You just make more money. That's what we like to do, right? And then the other thing is you do have to trade 5 days. So there really isn't a reason with them to try and nail the 50%. I did yesterday. Oops, but no problem. So here, I'll just scroll down. There's my little graph, and I'll show you a journal. So first day I signed up, I just put in some trades just to count it as a day, basically. I was kind of busy doing other stuff. And then yesterday we made, 4,600, so a little bit over. So we still have 3 days left. So goal today won't be to try to hit 4,600 or anything like that. I would say somewhere in the $3,000 realm, I'd be happy. Anywhere between over 3,000 and less than 4,500 would be great. All right, so we're back at it. A couple minutes later now. So let's see. So we had we'll just scroll up here. They had been hovering up there. And then, you see, if you're familiar with Jigsaw, you'll be able to read this a little bit more. It is in some ways like its own language. So seeing just the parade of reds with some blues in here basically tells the story. They marched it down, and then you had a few buyers push back, and then they would march it down, and then some buyers push back, and then they march it down, and buyers push back, and then they're marching it down, and buyers push back. But overall, the story, excuse me, early morning, 8:30. But overall, the story is told there. So now the question will be, so I will admit, so some of my classic setups, like the catch-up and all that, the catch-up has been tough lately, I got to admit. Look at this right now. You see the 10 years trading, 8, 9 ticks off their low, but you have the Ultrabond down at their low. It's usually flip-flop, and actually yesterday was the flip-flop where the 10 years were at their low, hitting their low. Ultrabond was up here, whatever numbers they were at. But way off of their low, and just never did really catch up, at least while I was watching it. So catch-up's been a little bit unreliable, I would say, currently. So if anything, I'm just kind of playing the Ultrabond in and of itself, so to speak. So for example, if we see this start pounding the low, that might be a good time to enter. We'll catch a few ticks if it breaks that low. If we see a rapid movement one direction, might get some pullback, always a good play. Or we watch it for a while and it's just kind of hovering in one area. It's a great opportunity to just scalp 1-2 ticks. Part of why I like the Ultrabond, big contract size and thicker order book than your equities products. So it's very doable to scalp 1-2 ticks, and at that big per tick value, 15 contracts, you're making $450 a tick, if you go full lot. So Not too bad. Literally 6-7 ticks would be all we need to reach the goal that I was going for today. A little bit over 3,000. So we'll see what happens here, though. So they did kind of come down and touch this low. I will mention while we watch this, I know this, I'm trading a take profit trader account. Take profit trader can trade the treasuries. Those are my two big things with them. They have lightning fast payouts, super fast. Great interface. You can have up to 5 accounts, which is lovely. I actually have several, but I chose this one. I want to get to the full 5. I don't have 5, and I want to have the full 5. So we're doing this evaluation to add one more, and that'll get me up to 4. I kind of just do them one at a time, guys. I'm not a copy trader, all that stuff that people seem to be into. I'm perfectly fine taking a little bit slower and enjoy the ride, and just not get caught up in the franticness of all the other stuff. But that might be for you, and it might not be. But just kind of explaining what I'm doing. So I am very tempted to get in here and just try and grab. I'm going to put orders in here for 15. See if we can get that. Now, another thing with the treasuries, because we're only going for a few ticks, and whether a few is like 1 or 5, it's still relatively, every tick matters quite a bit. So, I mean, sometimes I'll market order in, but if we can get filled there like we just did, that gives us one better tick advantage than if we had gotten filled down here. So, especially when you're playing these lows, like you might only get a few ticks down, 2, 3, I'd rather win 3 ticks than win 2 ticks because I took a market order, And sometimes you miss a trade doing that, it just doesn't get filled and it runs off without you. That's okay. There's lots of other trades to take. I'm going to set a take profit there just in case we get a little flash sale. So from that previous screen, we made 4,600 that one day. So our goal is roughly 99,200 now. But like I said, we have 3 days to do it. So it depends on your mentality. Personally, I like to, especially when you need to trade 5 days, would prefer to bang it out, most of it early and on, and then just kind of coast, if you will, for the last few days. But or depends too. Like that first day I showed you guys, I just basically did, I think it was one trade I did in treasuries, just like this, do 15 lots, 1 tick, boom. Okay, great, winner, counts as a trading day and move on. If say today becomes extra frustrating, we're not getting filled, we're not getting our $3,000, whatever we aim for, that's fine. You can just chalk it up as a trading day and see what tomorrow brings. So they never did push back down here, but they're also not taking off. So you can also see on Jigsaw, so the majority, even though they've traded today in this entire range, you can see the volume up here was relatively thin to the volume down here. They were only trading, they had a couple 1,200 lots or total lots at this price, blah, blah, blah. But then you have other ones 20, 40. So not a lot traded. Whereas down here, you have 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, etc. traded at these price levels. So I would consider this basically the actual true range where this has been trading today. And the point of that is that they're, even within today's little range, they're kind of just hanging out in this area. So still completely happy with this trade. Got to be patient with the treasuries. That is one thing I definitely tell people. This is not a rush one. Occasionally you get the nice fills and the quick fills and whatnot. And you could scalp honestly for 1 tick. If we just want to go out here and get 1 tick, we could do that. I'm not as big a fan. I'd rather just kind of do something like this, sit back, hopefully get the 3, and then it's 3 ticks rather than overwork and overstimulate myself to try and get 1 at a time. But if flip side, if this never materializes, this, take profit will be moving up here fully. They have not been able to break down here. Only 7 contracts have traded at this price, and I'm still trying to get the one below it. So So while this trade might not be exciting, hopefully there's some useful information in here for it. Treasury traders, jigsaw traders, what I'm looking at, what I'm going for, why I trade the treasuries, etc. It's not just about the fact that it's low. It's, we're staying in this trade because it's kind of hanging out in this area. If it started to move against us, we're going to get out. If it, several ticks, 3 ticks, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, we're getting out of this, but it hasn't. So right now, I'm perfectly happy. I haven't really seen any indication. I mean, right now it's literally just kind of hanging out. I do like that it's kind of hang out between break even and 1 tick. Like if I do just want to take this price, I'm sure we can get filled pretty quick. It seems to be really enjoying spending its time there right now. Yeah, they have not come down and touched the 7 at all. There we go. Finally, 73 contracts. And not only that, they took out anything that was there. So, and there we go. We get filled. So 3 tick winner there, wasn't quite 1,500. It's whatever it was, 1,300, something like that. So cool. I'm happy with that. So in theory, we could just be done for today. We could literally, so we need about 4,000 more. I'm looking on my other screen back at that total. Yeah, so we have just over 5,000 in profit in this account, and we need 9,200. So we need 4,200 more. I mean, we literally just picked up a third of that, basically. Close to, not quite. We could literally just do a 3-tick trade every day, today, tomorrow, and the next day. Well, not tomorrow, it's Saturday, but you know what I mean, the next trading day. And pass this one. I mean, we'd need 1 more tick in there. Hopefully you're with me on the math on that. But hey, it's still early, and I'm having so much fun recording a video. But on the flip side, I'm going to try to not make this a super long, super chit-chatty one. So let's see if we can get 1 more trade, and then I'm going to call it good on this account, I think. So I'm going to wait. Usually after I take a win, our hypothesis played out. I don't have a current hypothesis. I'm going to wait and see what this does. I'm not going to... It's the other thing, if you want another tidbit of knowledge, information, how I trade, my opinion, do what you want. Sit back, watch. A lot of value comes in trading treasuries and just watching, seeing what's happening. If I watch this for an hour, then it becomes very predictable. And I don't want to say, nothing's 100%, not whatsoever. But, even just in the 10, 15 minutes we've been watching this now, it's kind of told a story, right? It's just been hanging out here. It popped down, it touched that. Now it's just hanging out here. Okay, so obviously buyers and sellers not super active currently. The equities aren't open yet. We just had the non-farm payroll. I'm actually a little surprised it didn't kind of rally back. A lot of times you see that when you get a super charge down, you get a bit of a push back then, well up. Hasn't done that, so that's in the realm of possibilities, I would say. Still a slow grind back up. But we don't know right now, so we're just going to watch this. And guys, while we wait, let that thing kind of cook, let it simmer for a little bit. So even though we're trading take profit today, and I'll just tell you, so on my site, I have all the current deals for the best firms, and the best of the best are on my front page, and you can find all of them under there. So take profit is 30% off and no activation fees. Fantastic. You can have up to 5 funded accounts. I don't know what more to tell you. They allow treasuries. That's they have super fast payouts. But my funded futures, they're running a deal now for 50% off if you're a new customer. So if you've never had an evaluation and no activation fees, it's a good deal. They don't allow treasuries, but I do think they're a fantastic firm. They have lightning fast payouts. They are the fastest. Only followed by Take Profit Trader, who's second fastest on payouts. So, and that's a close competition in and of itself. But definitely check out my funded futures. What I do like about them is they have 4 types of accounts. So you can really, most firms, it's trailing drawdown or end of day. And there you go. That's it, right? My funded futures has 4 different kind of combinations, if you will, of factors in their accounts: the starter plus, the expert, and then the valid alive. So you can tailor it a bit more. Enough about that, guys. Let's see what's happening here. Come for the treasury bond trading and stay for my funded futures pitch. But it is a good deal. In all honesty, and I do really like my funded futures. Also, top 3, basically Apex, my funded futures, Take Profit Trader, my top 3. Wish Apex would bring back treasuries. I wish all the firms would, quite honestly. But that's okay, because we have a home with Take Profit Trader, and we trade our treasuries there. So now we're seeing, this is intro. So when we first started this video, the treasuries were down here, the Ultrabond, I should say. The 10-year notes were up here, and I was saying how they weren't, in line. It's kind of flip-flop. Now the 10 years pushed way down. They're at their lows, and we've got the Ultrabond still near its low, but not quite like at the low. You definitely need to be a bit more careful these days with that correlation thing. Like I said, it doesn't play out always. Right now, it seems like it did align. If anything, the 10 years caught up to the Ultrabond. So yeah, definitely being a little bit more careful with that one. Still worth looking at. So especially when we only need about 3 ticks. We're going to try and do the same magic show, guys. Let me get in there for 15. I don't know why. I set my number of contracts to 5. But I always end up just going full clip anyways. I think in my head, I think sometimes I might like maybe I'll scale out, because it works also for if I set a take profit, it just does 5 contracts, and then I could do like this. But in general, I usually just end up entering for 15 and getting out for 15. So anyways, that's just an aside. So let's go ahead and set this. So it looks like, we got 3 ticks the first round, 1,400 less whatever the commissions were. How greedy do we get, guys? Do we go for this? Let's go for it. That would get us over our $3,000 for today. So I do like, even though I said what I said about the correlation and stuff, I do still like that the 10 years are pushing down, and you're seeing some negatives here, which means people are pulling orders. So definitely a thicker order book on the 10 years. That goes without saying. But I do like that they seem to be pushing this down. We're basically going for the repeat trade this time, except for 1 extra tick. But, we're going just 1 tick off of the current low and trying to get that. What else is new out there, guys? I got to admit, I really have stopped following all the new litany of new firms. There is 1 new firm coming out most likely next week. They were actually going to launch this week, but they're really kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, making sure everything is right. You might know of Joom. He's a YouTuber. He doesn't do as many trading videos and live streaming as he used to. He used to live stream, but long story short, he's an ex sort of hedge fund manager, and excuse me if I'm using the right or wrong terminology, but basically used to manage big amounts of capital. Nice guy, super well known in the community. Not just a nice guy, he's probably the most positive guy. Now, I like to fancy myself the chief positivity officer out there, but Joom puts on a clinic. Anyways, he's starting a firm, Thrive Trading Group. Was going to launch this week, but like I said, they wanted to make sure everything is just 100%. So they're launching next week. So that is 1 new firm that I actually do believe in. Not going to have treasuries, but that's the 1 downfall. But like most firms, that is just the case. But I think that'll be a good opportunity for people. So I'm excited about that. I'll be doing videos about that. And, hey, I'll still trade a Thrive trading account. Can be done. Good traders can trade anything. There you go. Write that and stick it on your wall. All right, guys. Hopefully we get filled here. So 10 years are still pushing down. We're seeing the big negatives, and you might have saw there's a big positive there. So basically the buyers are piling on, the sellers are pulling orders. Good thing. Supply and demand, like it literally all comes back to very basic concepts sometimes. Supply and demand, you have way more buyers than sellers. The price will go down. Actually, I take that back. You have more sellers than buyers. Guys, I haven't had any coffee yet. I was sitting here, I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. The price is going down because there's more buyers? Wacky world is that? So yes, the sellers are piling on. So take back everything I said. The sellers are piling on, the buyers are pulling, prices being pushed down. Basic market dynamics. All right. Remember what I said about patience, guys? You got to be patient here for for the treasuries. And if we lose patience, we can just pop it up 2 ticks and get filled, and could quite honestly call it a day even with that. I'm really not hell-bent on the number. I mean, I would like to take a nice chunk out of what I need to make to pass, but it's not like mandatory. We still do have Monday and Tuesday to go. Oh, here we go. Hey, ta-da! Magic show complete. Thank you all for attending. So what did we get? We got 1,400 and 1,800, so 32 less commissions is right about just over the $3,000 that I was shooting for. So we need 4,200 more. We picked up $3,000, so that leaves us with 1,200, using round numbers, to make between Monday and Tuesday. So probably, I mean, just thinking ahead, probably do like a 2-tick winner on Monday, and then on Tuesday, I mean, I'll see what my balance is after that and just kind of get, what I need. It'll either be 1 or 2 ticks more, and we should be good to go. We'll pass this account. We can add to our little stable of Take Profit Trader accounts. Hopefully there was some useful information. That, like I said, not just about, passing evaluations and all that, but all the dynamics of the treasuries, why I trade the treasury still. Hopefully you, if you are a frustrated NQ or ES trader, you see the value in the treasuries. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's calm. It's not so bad though, guys. Come on. It's a good way to end our Take Profit trading week. Guys, I wish you the best of weekends. Be sure to check out my site. I'll see you in the next video.